Welcome to something I would like to call a new moon celebration for, I was going to leave that right there, for this new moment in time that we're all in. First off, happy new moon. What's up? What's cracking? My name is JASMINE BARBER, aka J Bambii, aka Oprah Gucci. And you are watching Tarot TV, and you are also watching Tarot Readings with J Bambii. This is our first episode. Really excited to be here. Really excited to be doing this. Some of the things that I do, and some of you all probably have known and seen me before in these capacities, is I do art, I make music, I teach the babies, I teach the kids, I do curation and events, and I also read tarot and do divination and talk to ancestors and spirit guides and angels and possibly aliens. But I do divination and tarot for people, and one of the things that I really love doing is helping people and healing people, and these are one of the ways that I do so. So this is our first episode, and although I could have came on here and been like, what's up, what's cracking, I'm going to tell you straight up, very nervous, very excited, very anxious, very in awe at the brilliance of the mind. And speaking of the mind, it's kind of crazy how we kind of end up here in this moment next to this theater house. I like to call it the tree house. I have a friend that I talk to when I meditate. Some people would maybe call it your higher self. Some people would probably call it an ancestor. Some people might call it, the big homie G.O.D. But I have a friend who, if you think hard enough and you sit quietly and peacefully enough with yourself, they appear. And I'm hoping that they'll come out and say hi. They're not here right now, but hopefully at some point we get into a place of zen, they might want to come out and hang out with us. So let's get into the reading. I want to start off with some themes for what this reading would be for us, which is kind of like the encompassing theme of this reading, the things that matter, the things that umbrella everything that we're kind of talking about, the guideposts that we're learning from, the different ways that we're connecting with spirit, the ways that we're connecting with ourselves, the things that we might be missing, the things that we might be learning. And I think that this would be something that I would really love to show you all in this capacity, but probably also, you're probably wondering why we're in this room right now. We are about to go on a trip. This is not just a regular tarot reading that you might have seen me do on Instagram Live or on Clubhouse or any of these other social media norms. This is an experience. This is a trip. This is an adventure. And as a Sagittarius, this trip is something Sagittarius love doing the most. Getting free, getting wild, getting liberated, but also learning some shit. Because, Sagittarius love learning some shit. So let's get started. Before every reading, you got to be able to put yourselves together. So if you're at home, on the train, in a plane, listen to some John Coltrane, I'm just going to ask you to, kind of find a quiet place within yourself. Kind of just ground yourself, your feet, your body, your spirit. And I'm going to start off with a prayer, as I always do with all my readings. And then we're going to get started. Cool. Calling on the Most High, spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors of love, light, protection, and truth. Calling on the Most High, spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors of love, light, protection, and truth. Can you please guide me and assist me and help me in giving a reading for the collective, what are the messages that the collective need to hear from me today? What are the messages that we need to hear today? What are the messages that would help us as we keep and continue on and moving forward in our journey? What are the messages of the things that, will help us succeed and excel and gain greater knowledge about ourselves and just help us grow and help us be better versions of ourselves? What are the messages that we need to help us, get better in finances, love, friendships, family, ourselves, our communities? What are the messages that we need now, Spirit, for the collective? Ashe, thank you. Ashe. Ashe means, and so it is. So when you manifest and you're thinking about things that you want to create and things you want to bring into the world, you always want to end it with an amen. You can end it with an I mean. You can end it with a ashe. Ashe is actually one of my favorite words. So let's get into it. So the card at the bottom that we have from Spirit to kind of start it off is higher knowledge. So higher knowledge is this idea that there's something bigger than us. It's something bigger than all of us. There's something that is indescribable by human eyes. A lot of times people see this symbol, and it's kind of ironic that we're getting this symbol. If you ever seen in TV shows and movies, a lot of people do this symbol and they kind of be super play with it, satirical, facetious. But this is a situation where we're dealing with connecting with the higher parts of ourselves, dealing with making sure that we can see the bigger picture, being able to understand the bigger picture. This higher knowledge is important, It's kind of speaking about, of course, meditation, concentration, wisdom, this idea in what we were just talking about. And it's kind of crazy that we pulled this card, because in all my tarot readings, I let the cards fall on the table while I'm live. I appreciate the homies and the people who do pre-pull cards because it definitely saves time. But the way I do things is I really like to freestyle and go with the flow. So one of the ways is just kind of being on cue with the cards. And you've seen that these cards kind of popped out. So, higher knowledge is this idea about needing to let go of this idea that you might know everything with just your eyes or what you're seeing around you. This is really about seeing, not being able to see the forest for the trees. Also thinking about meditation, thinking about this idea that you need to get quiet, you need to find peace. I was lucky enough to meet my friend, who you all will probably meet sooner than later, about meditation. I met them through meditation. I met them in a time where I was younger and I was just trying to figure out who I was and what I wanted, and having all these gifts and spiritual practices around me and trying to figure out what to connect with. And the homie came through and helped me connect, helped me talk to my ancestors, helped me get closer to the Most High, to Source, to the light, and also my shadow. A lot of times, people want to use meditation to be very cute, but meditation can be really hard. Guided meditations. You do meditations in, cognitive behavioral therapy if you're doing that line of therapy. There's a lot of different ways that meditation can be hard and pull out the best parts of you in really, really tough ways. Sometimes sitting still is not easy for me, but I find ways to do it. So next card we have oneness. I just think it's crazy. The Spirit is just right here, right on time, at all times, always. The energy is very good. We have a new moon tonight. It's really important that, especially with the season and the energies that we're in, that we really walk by faith and not by sight. Being able to kind of feel our way through, being able to trust what we're seeing, trust what we're feeling, trust what our inklings are. What are our inklings? What are we feeling? What is it that we really need to hear, And also kind of thinking about how, this phrase that everything is everything, yin and yang. There's good in the bad and bad in the good. It's subjective, One of my favorite cards that I love pulling from a deck that I might not have on this table talks about, one time, a lot of times we see our good traits as things that are like always going to be good, but they're quote unquote negative to the positives. And then there might be bad traits about us or things about us that we don't like, but there's a positive in it. And I think that in this moment, I would like for you all to kind of think of a time where you might have a bad trait that helps you out in a good way. And then there's a time where a good trait you have might hinder you and, you know, harm you. Like you having a big heart and helping people might not always be what's best, you know? That might be the thing that keeps you not feeling like you can get things done in your own personal life, you know? A lot of us deal with overcompensation, something I've definitely dealt with. So you think about how that could be something you need to balance. Or it might be something like, too, like on the other end, like you might feel like you're really shy and that's like something you really don't like about yourself. But it's like maybe being shy allows you to have more discernment, allows you to have more patience, allows you to have more, you know, observance of things around you, you know, before you speak. You know, you're a better listener than you are a talker. So, you know, a lot of times we got to understand that everything about us is not always bad. You know, everything about us that's good, you know, has some things that we can work on. But I think it's important that we always stay balanced and know that even all the negative moments you're going through right now has a positive and vice versa. And it's subjective. So I'm not telling you to pull, you know, something impossible out of a very terrible situation. But the idea that like, I'm breathing today, you know, the sun being up, the moon, you know, all of those things are still equal and balanced. They both equally give light, but they do it in different ways. So, you know, even those dark moments in your life can give you light. Even those light moments in your life can shed some crazy things on you. Think of all these celebrities that we know that have all this money and all this fame and publicity, and they crumble, they're crushed under the system of, you know, what it took to get to that place and get to the top. So it's like everything don't come with a good, you know, you being popular, you know, just like so many amazing black women out here in the scene, in art and music, in the entertainment business, you know, it comes with a cost. People are constantly harassing you, bothering you, you know, so there's pros and cons to everything. Last but not least, we have a lot of spiritual cards, like very like Pisces, you know, depending on if you're doing tropical sidereal, depending on when you watch this, it might be Pisces season, it might be Aries season, you know what I'm saying? So thinking a lot about how the consciousness, you know, even Aries rules the head, you know, and Pisces rules the feet. So again, that oneness, right? You know, thinking about how the beginning is the end is the beginning, you know? So this is about consciousness. You know, what are you creating in your mind? What are you thinking about on a daily basis? How are you perceiving the world around you? This is not subconscious. This is conscious. Like, how can you sit with the fact that maybe sometimes the way you think and the way you move and the way you see the world might not be good for your consciousness, you know? You know how they say like a healthy conscience or, you know, a guilty conscience, you know? What kind of consciousness do you have? You know, I think that a lot of times we can put a lot of pressure on ourselves to think differently, but in reality, we need to have compassion with our consciousness. We need to be able to see our consciousness as something that we are in relation with and we share a connection with, not something we try to train or control like some type of beast. You know, our minds are powerful tools. You know, I was able to bring this all to life with my mind, you know? And the days that were really hard, there were days that were really hard and I didn't do anything but take a nap. And then there was days that were like, you got this, you can do this. So affirmations, the way we speak to ourselves, the way we talk, the way we do things, the way we move, you know, all those are different things that help us move and create better consciousness. Meditating helps us have a better consciousness. Allowing the wisdom of the lessons that we learn allow us to have a better conscience. So those are the cards that we have, which are consciousness, oneness, and higher knowledge. So we have a lot of the higher chakras, which are no coincidence, especially with Aries season coming that rules the head, and again, Pisces being very dreamy, faith, the spiritual realm in much so in its essence. So yeah, a lot of us probably feel like we're in the clouds right now, don't know what's going on, kind of feel like we're floating, probably feeling like, getting real high, maybe some of y'all might be drinking, certain substances. Hey, look, no judgment here. Just make sure you're being safe. Make sure you're holding yourself accountable. Make sure you're drinking water. Please make sure you drink water. Please make sure you drink water. Please make sure you just say thank you to the water for even being able to drink it. Because there are people who ain't got clean water. So that's another way you can clean your conscience too. It's just being able to have gratefulness and gratitude. So, again, making sure that you're taking care of your body and staying grounded in the ways that you can when you're all up in your head in the clouds. Keeping that in mind. So, those are the themes of our reading today. I am going to get into the tarot, but first we're going to take a quick commercial break. Yes, we have commercials, my nigga, and some other amazing things as well. But we're going to get to a commercial break, and then we will get back to you soon.
Where you at? Hit me back when you get a chance. I got something for us to get into.
All right, welcome back to Tarot Readings with J Bambii. I am J Bambii, also known as Jasmine Barber, also known as Oprah Gucci. If you're interested in following me on social media or getting in touch with me on social media, you can follow me at Oprah_Gucci on Instagram and Twitter. You also can follow me on Clubhouse at J Bambii, also at Oprah_Gucci. So let's get into these cards. So I got some numbers, randomly chose and select the decks that you see up here before you. And we are going to use the same deck that we started with. Spirit's like, I want to pull more cards from there, so I'm going to listen to Spirit. And then we also have one of my faves is Next World Tarot. And we also have another one of my faves that my wonderful friend Sydney Lomax gave me is the Crystal Angels Oracle card. So we're going to use these. We're going to see what energies, what cards, what words of wisdom Spirit wants to share with us, kind of building off on the cards that we're talking about with the crown and the third eye chakras. The chakra system is something that is based mainly in the realm of energy, right? Again, I'm not going to get too much into it because I kind of want to just focus on the tarot. All right, Spirit, so what are the three cards you have for us today? Oh, I'm going to pull this one. This one jumped out. Stress reduction. De-stress your mind, body, and schedule as you need to rest, recharge, and revive. So all of us are stressed the fuck out. Surprise, surprise. We're in the middle of a fucking pandemic. It's hella shit going on. We just are coming out of one of the most tumultuous years of most of our lives. You might be really stressed out. You know that song by Robin Thicke? What's that song called? Sex Therapy? You know that song? That's that song I was thinking about. Like, some of y'all might need some sex therapy. Some of y'all might need some actual, deep cognitive mental therapy, which is fine because I'm in therapy. It's awesome. Please, if you have access to a therapist, it's a privilege. It's a beautiful thing. If you need a better therapist, I'm praying for you on that journey. If you need a therapist, period, I'm doubly praying for you on that journey. Because it's not an easy one and it's very stressful. But stress could be also making sure that you're not dealing with people, places, and persons that cause you stress. You know, you don't want to be dealing with nobody who drink all your juice up in the fridge. No, you need to be able to live a life without stress. How do you do that? Taking more baths, your eating habits also can affect that, and not in a place of fat phobia, because we do not endorse fat phobia on this show. But you want to make sure that you're taking care of your body in a well-rounded way. Again, are you drinking water? Are you making sure that you're making space for fruits and vegetables and fiber and certain things? You might be eating fruits and vegetables. You might not be eating enough fiber. Everybody's body is different. So don't look on it based on how you look as stress, baby, because no, body on the outside can never really tell you sometimes what's going on the inside. So stress is very, very much so important here. Please make sure you're not burning yourself out with work, okay? Capitalism is not the norm, should not be the norm, or we're not going to make it the norm. Working and burning yourself out for somebody who won't even show up for you when you need it, don't care if anything happened to you on the job, and just gonna write you off to HR? No. So some of y'all need to take some days off. Some of y'all need to smoke a joint. Some of y'all can't be smoking joints as stress relievers to a point where now it's a crutch, So we want to make sure we're having balanced relationships with the ways that we cope and heal and take care of ourselves. Keep that in mind. Ancestors, what's the last card you'd like for me to pull from this deck? Okay. Heightened intuition. Be extra aware of your inner knowingness as it is trustworthy. Listen, I'm telling you, it's definitely a shift that happened, a couple of them, but there was one that happened today, and I'm recording this on the new moon, which is March 13th, 2021. And I just remember feeling it when I woke up. I imagined it when I was, thinking about it in a spiritual bath I was taking as like a Rubik's Cube. Like the universe is kind of like getting the Rubik's Cube the way it needs to get it and get it the way that it needs to go. And every piece and everything is everything. So your intuition with this higher consciousness, this oneness, this meditative energy, this is about needing to stay aware, needing to have discernment, and not in a bad way. Like everything doesn't have to be spooky all of the time. Intuition might be like, yo, it's about to be a good time. Yo, it's about to get real good. I think there's some things that will be celebrated. There'll be some birthdays, some parties, some anniversaries, some things to celebrate. And I just think that with today being a new moon, celebrate something fresh. I always clean my room at least once or twice a month on Sundays, Definitely probably more than that, but I take an initiative to really cleanse and clean and vacuum and clean my altar, rearrange things, wash all the dishes, clothes, etc., so I can just be reset. That song, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. That song, listen, I'm not here to be singing with y'all, but I will be at the karaoke bars for sure. But I really want to imply that this new energy here. So let's get into these other cards. Oh, Spirit said pull those. I'm going to listen. Let's get into this. Interesting. So I said, Spirit, I want to trust you on this. So again, we have heightened intuition. We have divine intervention. So some of y'all might have felt like something was thwarted or something didn't work out the way it was supposed to or something went awry, but disarray I'm hearing, but it wasn't. Just like the Rubik's Cube is being solved, you know what I'm saying? There's a divine master plan to each puzzle piece, everything that's happening. So what you might feel like was, what they say, God's rejection is God's protection. A delay might mean not no, but maybe not right now. There's a divine intervention, even maybe in a good way. I ain't gonna say good way, because I think those words we can get caught up on that, but even in another way where you might end up in a situation where, like, the universe, you might be going through a tough time financially, and the universe divinely intervenes. So just know that the ancestors got their hand on this. Busy times and multitasking, boom, there go the stress. Remember I was talking about that job, that working? Here we go. Some of y'all work too much, way too much. Take charge of your schedule during this busy time and honestly assess your underlying reasons for being busy. Some of y'all using busyness as a coy to be avoided. Some of y'all are so stressed out about maybe family stuff, love, relationships, personal, emotional stuff that you're using work as a cover-up. But the body and the spirit all know the lies. They all know the bullshit. They ain't gonna play with you. So they're gonna make you sit that ass down and do what, do what you gotta do. Listen, y'all gotta have some healthy conversations. So there might be a divine intervention where you get to have a conversation with somebody. There might be divine intervention where you need to sit your ass down and then you get to talk to somebody, or somebody comes and helps you, a friend that you ain't talked to in a minute, you get to tell them and you be vulnerable about what's going on, or you get to open up to a lover, open up to a family member, open up to a friend, so there's some healthy communication that needs to happen. There's some divine intervening here where they're either going to help you have the conversation, or you're avoiding certain things with work, or you're busy, you're too busy. Again, you're taking care of your body, your mind, your soul on a daily basis, so you don't have to take care of them later, or you got to deal with them in a more stressful situation. You're going to the hospital, God forbid. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with stress, having to be bedridden because you don't know how to sit your ass down. You want to be able to heal every day so that you don't have to. If you had to look at your body, your mind, your soul, your everything as a bank account, right? Where are you pulling out in the negatives? Where are you kind of maybe investing a lot and haven't spent anything? You ain't just supposed to have money. You got to spend money to make money. So you probably haven't talked to your friends in a minute, or you might be dealing with something where you ain't got enough money in the spiritual place, or you ain't got enough money in the therapy fund. Whatever the case may be. And let me and so many other amazing Black women, people in general, let you know that it is possible to make a way out of nothing. Magic. Heart-to-heart conversations and discussions and clear, assertive communication help you understand and be understood. Heart-to-heart discussions and clear, assertive communication help you understand and be understood. So, some of y'all need to work on that throat chakra. This card is blue. Work on that throat chakra, being able to either open up and communicate or be able to listen. So see wherever you feel yourself in that balance place. So you have two more cards. You have passion and purpose. Your enthusiasm gives you energy and motivation to work on a meaningful project that's dear to your heart. Now, you can't make this shit up, because this is exactly what I'm doing right now, what we're doing right now. Amazing times. And then let yourself feel all of your emotions. Your entire Your entire rainbow spectrum of feelings is sending you important messages and guidance. So again, anger, sadness, those are emotions that we don't like to feel all the time because, they're so weak, they're so vulnerable, they're not real, whatever the case may be, right? You can't feel happy all the time. That's not wholeness. And I think about how the Buddhists and a lot of Eastern practices also talk about, which is something I also really fuck with, talk about how joy, you can't have joy without sorrow. You can't have sorrow without joy. And as deep as grief has carved itself into you, it has made a bigger space for you to experience love. You feel me? So a lot of times we can get really caught on like the pain and the hurt and not allowing ourselves to feel how we feel because we think it's taking away from us, or it's a waste of time or a waste of energy, or it's not something we all want to do. But it's not true. The emotion that day that you feel sad is just as important as the days you feel happy, because how would you know when to be grateful for them, gratitude for the days that just felt so seemingly good, felt so good. You just eat them up and swallow them and put them in the freezer if you could. You know, take them in a fucking doggy bag, roll over to the next day. It's days that feel so good that you can't even fathom them ending.
Has America got you feeling down?
White supremacy crawling up your ass?
Have you tried therapy and weed and neither seem to work? From the same people who made Canada Dry bold ginger ale
comes ginger ale extreme. Because the world is crazy and black folks need something stronger.
Ginger ale extreme is good for drowsiness due to systemic racism.
Tummy aches from living in food deserts.
Constantly consuming heinous, racially motivated crimes that sound like they are getting closer to your age group, city, and state every second.
We even have red, black, and green flavors available for holidays.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Side effects include
running out of fucks,
smacking the shit out of Karen.
The people's elbow to your supervisor's head.
Visions of reparations and freedom.
And in some instances, shooting back at the police. Rah, rah, boom, boom, doo, 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 doo. Ginger ale extreme, cause white supremacy gon' catch these hands today.
Now we're going to get into our next tarot deck. We have the Next World Tarot, which is a fave of mine. As a revolutionary girl myself, I love a card that can tell niggas the truth in a way that not only holds you accountable, but reminds you of the toxic, terrible, tumultuous, wild-ass world that we live in. Oh, there goes one. Page of Swords, Home of Action. So it's definitely some new bounds being broken, new barriers, new ground being broken. Some of y'all are doing things that just are unheard of. You know, you're breaking grounds, you know, breaking glass ceilings, whatever you like to call it. Ooh. Ancestors, can I please have some cards? I was going to say 3, but whatever, how many, you know, you like to give me, you know, respectfully, reasonable amount. What cards you like to share with me for the collective? What other messages you like to share with me with the collective? Okay, let's see what the card at the bottom is. 7 of Cups, Imagination. Imagination Station. It's kind of crazy that this card is talking about imagination. I'm immediately thinking about Dreams by Solange, you know? Making your dreams happen, making things you saw in your mind come to reality. Yeah. All right, so let's look at the cards we have. So we have the 7 of Cups, which is imagination. But the card we have under that is the 9 of Swords, which is what I'm hearing is not using our mind for, again, back to the conscious and back to what I said earlier. The cards are just re-emphasizing. You have a choice. Do you want to use your mind to hinder yourself and stifle yourself and restrict yourself and imprison yourself? Or you want to use your mind to liberate yourself, free yourself? Of course, there are fucked up, terrible things that affect all of us. I'm a queer black woman from the south side of Chicago. I'm dark skinned, I'm tall, you know, all these different things that have marginalized me in a certain way and have harmed me, hurt me, you know, made me feel small, insignificant, inadequate. But I still had to imagine. I think about Octavia Butler, Audre Lorde, Toni Morrison, all of these black, beautiful, wonderful women, energies, people who imagine worlds, even in their art or in their realities, a world beyond what was given to them. They decided they weren't going to take what was given to them. And I think sometimes our minds can play tricks on us so bad. So have you ever had a moment where you thought it was going to be all bad and the shoe was going to drop and there ain't no other shoe, ain't shit, and ain't nothing bad happen? It's kind of like what I'm feeling like is happening now. You know, sometimes we can self-sabotage. shame and guilt, fear, those types of emotions can definitely do a number on you. And you fuck around and be like, damn, like, I'm thinking the worst. And then you fuck around and bring some shit upon you because, like, you're thinking the worst. And it might not be even the worst. It might even be worse because you're thinking about it that way. You know what I'm saying? So they're saying really watch how you speak. You know, I read affirmations. I read the Oath of Manifestation. I do a lot of different work around my consciousness. When I'm having a hard time doing yoga, hard time doing Pilates, I speak to myself nice. I used to be like, oh my God, why can't you do this? It's not like, I used to give up, like, oh, you can't do this, da, da, da. Instead of being like, you can try, it's okay. You know, so sometimes we want to be perfect with this healing shit, perfect with our minds. Our minds are not meant to be perfect. They're not smooth ass eggs. They're rigid. You should be worried. I actually worry about some of these niggas on the internet. I feel like they got smooth ass nigga, you know, smooth ass egg brains. But neither here nor there. I digress. So don't try to fuck your mind up by feeling like you got to think of positive thought every single day. No, it's about how you handle the negative thoughts when they come your way. There are always negative thoughts. If I want to think about what's all this fucked up shit that's going on in the world with black people, women, my trans sisters, the queer community that I'm a part of in many different ways and capacities, you know, and also teachers, the medical industry. I could name a whole bunch of fucked up shit. But there's a lot of also really good shit like puppies and puppet theaters, candles, the burning of sage, a good cup of coconut water, a good joint. I ask y'all in not a way that denounces the literal violence and trauma and pain that the system in this world has caused you, but I will ask you to see that there is another side. You know, when I think about the quote that says that even when there's clouds in the sky is still blue. You know, anybody who's flown the plane, you know that when you get above those dark ass clouds, the sky is still blue. We got the Eight of Swords. Exactly what I was talking about. It's kind of like the cage bird sing, but this is the thing about it. The cage is open. Also makes me think about the allegory of the cave, you know? So there's a lot of different ways that we can restrict ourselves, imprison ourselves, keep ourselves stuck, keep ourselves in a place that doesn't benefit you, keep you in a place where you don't feel good, you don't feel loved, you don't feel supported. And it might be the way you're seeing it. It also might be who you're around. It might be how you're viewing it. That's why therapy and praying and meditation and taking days off and chilling and watching a good movie and relaxing, all those things matter. You know, this world is fucked up, but that don't mean that we all got to be fucked up. You know, we can do a lot of different ways to help one another. You know, donate, spend time with a young person, go work with some baby animals. You know, even if you don't live nowhere near water or forest or anything where babies and animals, help somebody in your community online. However, there's many ways to express and extend joy and love to yourself and one another. So it might sound really emotional, but yeah, it's not like that.
Disappear, I wash up with the tide in my tears. I'll take a rest of the rest, blooming into my fears. Smoking my chest from the stress, building over the years. What did you hear about me? Did it revere or doubt me? Days disappear, I wash up with the tide in my tears. I'll take a rest of the rest, blooming into my fears. Smoking my chest from the stress, building over the years. What did you hear about me? Did it revere or doubt me? I'm insecure in the measure of time. They just betray me and muddle my mind. I fall behind, I can't rewind the consequences. me restless, making me fall into more foolishness. I may unveil unto you all these tales, but who will you see when you contemplate me? Days disappear, wash up with the tide and my tears. I take a rest of the rest, blooming into my fears, smoking but just from the stress, building over the years. What did you hear about me? Did it reveal about me? Days disappear, wash up with the tide and my tears. I take a rest of the rest, blooming into my fears, smoking but just from the stress, building over the years. What did you hear about me? Did it reveal about me? And refined. Some think I'm lured into leisure divine, but if they knew how much I do, try to stay grounded with solace resounding. Still every time conflict I find, the deeply subconscious inertia mine. I may prevail after numerous spells, but who will I be when they hear about me? Days disappear, wash up with the tide of my tears. I take a rest of the rest, blooming into my fears, smoking but just from the stress, building over the years. What did you hear about me? Did it reveal about me? Days disappear, I wash up with the tide of my tears. I take a rest of the rest, blooming into my fears, smoking but just from the stress, building over the years. What did you hear about me? Did it reveal about me? And who will I be when you're thinking about me? Would you be better off with or without me? Do you believe in me or do you doubt me? Doubt me. Doubt me. Do you believe in me or do you doubt me? Who will you see when you're checking me out? Do you believe in me or do you doubt me? How would you know what my habits amount to? Do you believe in me or do you doubt me? Keep up with me or can you figure me out? Doubt me. Doubt me. Doubt me. Doubt me.
All right. Yeah, we got it.
Okay.
Thank you, Ariel.
Yeah, no problem. I wish we had more time.
So we're back, and we're gonna get back into these cards. So I've pulled cards from our Next World Tarot deck, and these are the ones that we have had so far. So we have the Eight of Swords, the Seven of Cups. So there's something here about maybe restricting our imagination, you know, putting self-imposed limits on it, like, oh, I'll never be able to do this and never be able to have this, or because I'm this, I can't have this, you know, because I'm that, I can't have that. You know, it's a lot of different ways that the way we think can keep us from getting opportunities, you know. Sometimes our imaginations aren't always bad. Sometimes they have amazing, great things in there. Ideas for art and projects, and, you know, not having optimism, you know, being really cynical, pessimistic, like, that shit don't always get you anywhere. It's okay to be realistic. Now, I ain't saying not to be out here woo-woo crazy, but I am telling you that it's okay to dream. It's okay to believe in the impossible, like on some Cinderella shit. It's okay to believe in that. So let's get into these cards. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Seven of Wands, Six of Pentacles, and Page of Swords. So a lot of people. So we have the Page of Swords, we have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Knight of Swords. So there's some people, some players for sure in this you could be all these people too. So you don't even really got to focus on nobody else. So let's focus on the people first. So we have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is in this deck called the Fire Starter. And I think what I want to do is read the people, because we don't have any major arcanas. Want to point that out. That I've not seen one major arcana. So to me, that's not weird, but it does let me know that maybe the major arcana, because usually major arcana lets you know it's like a big guidepost block, moment in your life that you need to pay attention to. And big is subjective again. Big for the month, big for the year, big for tomorrow, so you don't got to get too caught up on that. But these court cards are definitely letting me know that there is a lot of different energies a part of this that are physical, like I said, people, places, things that are having an effect and or helping you, putting things into context for you. So we're going to read these from this deck. Tarot readers don't need the books. These can be used as an assistance and as a way to kind of push and further that message. So I always love getting a good tarot deck, and a tarot deck that has a really good meaning book and message book with it, because it be raw. So I love these because they're very revolutionary. They're very deep, loving, a lot about self-accountability, the whole nine. So we're going to get into the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is always something I think about with, this is about fire, and wands rule fire, remember? So I kind of think about like moving, pivoting in a new direction. It don't even got to be like physically moving out your home or physically moving in a car. A lot of times even thinking about ableism, where people might not feel like because they can't move physically, they can't move. That's a lie. It's not true. Don't get too caught up on physically moving, but where you are energetically putting and pushing your energy towards. So let's read the Knight of Wands. Found in the deserts and alleyways, for homes for the lost souls, or the X on maps of sacred geometry, this knight is cultivating the strength it takes to speak their truth and fight for justice through creative expression. Bam. They ask you to look before you leap into your subconscious, differentiate between truth and unwarranted compromise, between the guides and the demons. Now, what have I been talking about this whole time? Being able to balance, it's important how your shadow, it's important how your light. You got to make sure you get them together, because you don't want to be in a situation where you constantly only listening to the negative voice, but you never want to listen to the other one. You got to balance, period. The Knight of Wands makes a living painting wild landscapes and conveying wild concepts that rally individuals to smile, worry, or change their mind. They ask you to dig deep into your hidden talents and uncovered goals. Allow them to flourish and pay no mind to the gaze of doubt. The Knight urges a revolution through new materials of self-made resources. Y'all, I just want to say that Spirit has a mind of their own. This is the Fire Starter. I want to remember. So I think this would be a good time to introduce my friend. I love fire. As a fire sign, who doesn't, my friend loves fire too. My friend is a dragon. I have a lot of friends, but this friend is very special in the way that they are a dragon. Their name is Ashe. I met them, again, at a time in my life where I was very lost and confused, and I felt very alone and abandoned. And my ancestors brought me somebody that I could talk to get through to them. And I reached them through my altar, through meditation, through my dreams. I got to get them to come out, though. I made this house of all the self-made resources I have, and I think they like it a little bit too much. They've been in there all day. So I'm gonna try to get them to come out, and we'll see what goes. We'll see what happens.
Sister.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have any change.
No, sister, you're being brainwashed out here. Sister, you're being brainwashed. With whole milk. 85% of black people are allergic to whole milk, but it's in every damn thing. That's right. That's why I only drink cashew milk. This is all cashew milk, baby girl. Yeah. Pigs are killing our brothers and sisters up in the street.
NFL players are out there protesting against police brutality, and then the NFL wants to claim that Juneteenth is a holiday for the league. Bullshit. Colin Kaepernick ain't got no job, does he? Does Colin Kaepernick have a job? Hell no. That damn David Schwimmer, he gonna be out there tweeting, talking about he came up with the idea for an all-black Friends. You talking about the show you stole, Living Single? You gotta stay woke out here, sister. You better stay woke.
No, you need a nap.
Green, green, green. Green, green, green. Green, green, green. Green, green,
Yeah. 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 I'm talking about, roll a blunt to the face, every morning, every day, 8 hours, smoke the sour, mixing oils with my flour, getting oil in the shower, nigga, I don't do the powder, but my bougie flew the powder, smoking weed all day, forever, always. Back in high school, I smoked weed in the hallway. When I'm old as fuck, I smoke weed up in y'all face. And when I die and I'm a ghost, I smoke weed in the crawl space. Smoking weed all day, I'm smoking weed all day. Big blunts when I come through, nigga, we can all blaze. Gee, we ain't got a match, I got too much weed for that. Take this blunt, light it up, you ain't gotta pass it back. I'm smoking weed all day. All day, nigga, can't smoke with you cause y'all fake, nigga. Jealous looks up on y'all face, nigga. Ain't gon' take shit cause I red tape, niggas. Red Dead revolving and fresh bait, nigga. Try not to go 8, nigga. That's why I'm smoking weed all day. I'm smoking weed all day. Big blunts when I come through, nigga, we can all blaze. Gee, we ain't got a match, I got too much weed for that. Take this blunt, light it up, you ain't gotta pass it back. I'm smoking weed all day. I'm smoking weed all day. Big blunts when I come through, nigga, we can all blaze. All day, smoking weed all day. Aye. Been that nigga in my city, how you just found out? Big Ghoulie come through, no, I'm breaking pounds out. 16 had niggas lined up at my mom's house. Serving all my teachers, they still say I went the wrong route. Bitch, I went that paper route. Give fuck what I hate about. My nigga died for this dream, so I gotta make it now. But first I'ma go put in work, put a couple niggas up on a shirt. By the time my career bloom, be a couple flowers coming out the dirt. Maybe I mix it with the perp, smoke a op like the ivory. If he come back and that gun clap, that's what he get for surprising me. Boy, I'm paranoid, don't lie to me. Real niggas gon' die for me. Got a pothead bitch with 5 degrees, won't ride with me, but can't find the keys. We smoking weed all day, you know, forgetting shit. Nothing like that first blunt when you come up out that dealership. Benzes is, big trucks, old school chrome kitty shit. If you see me in the street smoking on some weed, don't be scared to come hit the shit. We smoking weed all day, I'm smoking weed all day. Big blunts when I come through, nigga, we can all blaze. Gee, we ain't got a match, I got too much weed for that. Take this blunt, light it up, you ain't gotta pass it back. I'm smoking weed all day, I'm smoking weed all day. Big blunts when I come through, nigga, we can all blaze. All day, smoking weed all day. All day. Green, green, green. Green.
Oh, you're pretty early. Where have you been this whole time? Oh, you came out when you smelled the weed. Typical. I probably would have did the same thing too. It's alright, I understand. So, do you want to hear the rest of these cards and I pass you the joint? And then we can kind of, start a smoke break and, kind of hang out a little bit and I can ask you a few questions because I just kind of assumed that maybe you can give me some advice on some of these things with the cards. Here you go. Isn't that some good shit? You just hold on to that. You ain't got to worry about rotation right now. Page of Swords. Damn, I didn't tell you to hold on it like that. Oh. This is the home of action. So you see how Ashe had the action to come and join us upstairs after smelling the aroma of weed, you know? And coming into a do not enter space, you know? This is the first time y'all have ever seen Ashe, you know, outside of my own personal spiritual space. So probably is really crazy. You know, this is probably something that they're not supposed to enter. They're not supposed to be over here. But, you know, I'm really glad that Ashe came to join us. Ashe means a lot to me, and I hope Ashe means a lot to you, because they have a lot to offer. And I'm really glad that they decided to take this journey with me. So let's get to it. The Page of Swords cuts through the walls that divide us from privatized natural resources. She rallies other warriors, other purveyors of safety and truth, teachers, activists, and youth. She laughs when seen as a monster in the eyes of industry, environmental terrorists, and white supremacists. She rallies the Court of Swords as her affinity group, together ensuring a radical array of ancestral gifts in the front line of any revolution. The Page of Swords asks you to cut through the roles that you are forced into. She asks you to speak your highest truth, fight your greatest fight, scam your greatest enemy, and rage with your fullest heart. Whose side are you on? Whose side are you on, Ashe? Do you feel like you got to choose between, you know, me being like human and you being a dragon? Like, how do you feel how other dragons feel about it? You think other dragons hate it?
I don't care what they think.
I like that you don't care about what other people think, Ashe, because Ashe to that, not caring what other people think. You should really care about what you think and what's best. Of course, it's important to be held accountable. It's important to have community. It's important to have ideas to bounce off of. When we talk about whose side are you on, we talk about love and revolution and showing up. You know, Ashe really showed up for me today, and I just really appreciate you for that, because people would never believe me if I told them I have a dragon. You're right here in front of me. This is crazy. Wow. You're really here. And your eyelashes look amazing, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm just really glad that they're here with me today. You're probably wondering, you know, who is Ashe? What do they go by? What do they go by? You know, who are they? Ashe doesn't have an age, doesn't have a gender, doesn't have anything except the energy to relate to you however you would like to relate to them. You know, these are my two of my favorite colors. They're also the favorite colors of an organization I do called the Brown Skin Lady Show, where we help Black, brown, and indigenous women of all expressions be able to cultivate a space of financial prosperity, socioeconomic balance, and also being able to be uplifted and put in a place where they get to matter in their art. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really glad for people who decide to jump outside of the margins and live beyond. And again, Ashe is a visible representation of oneness to me. You know, Ashe is everything. And it is so. Everything is so. Everything is everything. So Ashe is everything.
Oh,
you know?
So much, Dad.
Oh, you're welcome. You know, I really am really glad my ancestors gave me some manners. You know, I appreciate that. So let's get into these other cards. We've had the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Page of Swords. Now we have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, Ashe. This card is really cool. I'm hoping that maybe we could talk about it real quick. So, what do you think about reciprocity?
I don't know. I haven't thought too much about it before. What do you think?
I think about reciprocity being when things are balanced, you know, things are reciprocal. I'll show you the definition, you know. Reciprocity. Oh, what were we going to say? I'm sorry. I forgot to cut you off.
We call it love.
Love. Yes. We call it love too. So you guys like love too?
Yes, we love love.
So love, I think that is great. I love love, and I think when you love people, you care about their feelings. You're reciprocal. You know, the Six of Pentacles is about redistribution in this card. It's the Moon and Taurus card. I have amazing astrologer friends, but what I understand about Moon and Taurus, and also just intuitively with this card, this is about our value and our feelings. You know, the amount of value we put into our feelings. You know, we don't want to just constantly have somebody take from us, or we don't want to constantly be giving, and we don't know how to receive, or we don't want to constantly be the ones taking and not giving. So we always want to pay attention to how we show up in the world and show up in the work that we do, you know? So sometimes if we make it hard by, you know, being hard on ourselves, or, you know, making things difficult by, you know, not setting boundaries, or redistribution, you know, thinking about redistribution of wealth, you know, all the people at top, you know, do you guys have dragons that only have all the resources where you're at, or do everybody share?
We have a one top dragon who rules all of us.
So what do you feel about that dragon? Do you think that's fair? Do you think all the dragons, you know, at the bottom, or, you know, because if there's a top, there has to be a bottom.
Well, in our culture, he has proven to be the best dragon out of all of us. He has beat every level in our culture, and he is the strongest one that we have. So he is the top one, and he's earned his position, and we respect him.
I think I can take that, but also, do you feel like, okay, example, I feel like when things are reciprocal, even with donating, like, you know, when you donate to businesses, you know, as above, so below. So when you share, you should give back. And when you give, you know, when people always give and, you know, give to you in a certain sense, like, you know, let's say you're the person who always, you know, washes the dishes. And then, isn't it should be fair, right? Like, I don't know if you all have dishes where you're at, but like, you know, the person who always takes the initiative to do the chores or do the hard responsibility, you know, it's not fair that you always get to do it if there's a whole bunch of people involved. You know, everybody should be able to have equal part and equal give, you know. I think everybody should be able to have wealth, and everybody should be able to have money, you know?
Yes, I understand. Well, in our culture, we all do our part, even the top one. We're not greedy like Americans. We actually care about each other, and the government actually cares about its citizens in our country.
No, this is a dragon government.
Yes.
So, speaking of dragon governments, you know, when I think about this card, I think about how, like, even right now, you know, there's all this wealth in the world that is not being redistributed. You know, it's not being shared. It's not being, you know, everybody doesn't have access to homes. Everybody doesn't have access to money. Everybody doesn't have access to healthcare. Everybody doesn't have access to dragons. Unfortunately, you know, everybody doesn't have the opportunity and the possibility to meditate or get close to themselves. And it's like, what if everybody got everything they needed? What if everybody got a chance to love what they had the time to do, you know, be able to be balanced in their hobbies and their work, you know, not always work, but also being able to rest too, you know, vice versa, you know, not always feeling like you can't have anything to do because capitalism and certain things make it hard to get a job or get supported, but you also have something to work on and do. So redistribute the wealth, redistribute the resources, redistribute the access. You know, clout fucking sucks. All right, so let's get into these other cards. We have the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords is about rest, you know, taking naps, going to sleep, taking a vacation, taking a break, you know. All these different things are, you know, a part of, you know, the work that we have to do to take care of ourselves. So I want to make sure that you all are taking care of yourself in ways that feel good, that feel supportive, that feel helpful. All right, we have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands could be petty fighting, arguing, strife. You know, you don't want to let your pride get in the way. You know, you want to make sure that you're staying on top of things by not letting ego and competition and all this stuff get in the way. You want to just focus on your spirit, your heart, your wellness, taking care of yourself. You also want to be setting boundaries now and having courage. You know, these cards here, this card especially, the Seven of Wands, is a woman who's doing a protection spell away from those who I would consider to be the enemy. You know, different people in a place of abusing power. And this person is doing a protection spell to protect themselves from those who abuse power and don't want to love and respect and be reciprocal, right? You know, we want to protect ourselves from people who don't want to be reciprocal. We want to protect ourselves from people who want to be petty and argumentative and, you know, don't want the best for us. And, you know, we want to go where we're appreciated and not tolerated. Isn't that right, Ashe? Ashe. Go where you're appreciated and not where you are tolerated. So, we're about to get into our smoke break, and we will be back right after this commercial break.
Oh, come on, Trisha, get off that dang TikTok. I need you to drop them wings, girl, all right? I want to hear them sizzling.
I wasn't on TikTok. I was reading the news. And don't talk to me any kind of way. Things are changing. It's a woman of color in the White House. The next mayor of Boston is supposed to be a black woman. And once these witches on TikTok teach me how to lay my baby hairs, I'm about to be the next alderwoman.
You know, you would be a phenomenal alderwoman. That's what we need more. We need women in power throughout the world. That's the hell is wrong with our mayor. I tell you, not all skin folk is kinfolk.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot? She black.
I bet you $20 that she like her chicken fried light and dunked in water.
Ew, fried hard and in water? You nasty, but I'm always down for a bet.
I'm telling you, she has an extraterrestrial and hers need a phone home. Oh yeah, if you ever encounter an extraterrestrial, I want you to spray it in the face with mild salt.
Okay, Lucy.
Yeah, I learned that trick in a pool hall in West Side Chicago, 1986. Had on my rolling blades, all white hot pants, had an S-curl. Oh yeah, I was on my friggin' Beverly and Mays swag.
Welcome to Harold's. Would you like it fried hard, or hard?
Hey, can I get 6 wings fried light?
Can't hear you. Speak up with the masses.
Light.
Say what?
I said light.
Lightfoot invasion!
Calm yourself. Wash your hands before you lightly fry my chicken and get me a glass of lukewarm water or I'll call the police. I'm Lori Lightfoot, bitch.
What is it, Trisha? Oh, hell no! An alien attack! Harold's mild sauce. Sauce up your wings and slay alien cops. Hey, Trisha, give me my $20, girl.
Okay, first of all, Ashe, where did you get this joint from? Did you already roll up without me already again? It was old. It looks pretty fresh to me. It looks like some weed I just had. Do you want to explain yourself?
You got lighter?
I do have a lighter. I literally rolled up for us and you rolled up without me. Like that's...
No, that was from earlier.
Look, I just want to just say that if we're going to be, the Six of Pentacles talked about redistribution and sharing reciprocity. We should be sharing,
That's why I presented it to you.
No, I had to take it out of your mouth. I had to get...
I don't have fingers.
You have talons. You have claws. You have an ability to grab things. So, as Ashe continues to stress me the fuck out, we're gonna leave that on the side. We're gonna take this new fresh joint I had, and I'm gonna pass this over to you. But when's the last time you listened to some really good music and you just vibed out? Like, you ever think about just how times music and colors, sound, vibrations, you know, just being able to feel some shit. You know what I'm saying? When's the last time you felt some shit, Ashe?
Man, like 2 months ago.
Damn, 2 months ago? You ain't felt shit in 2 months? Damn, nigga, that's a long time. You remember, you know, the cards talked about stress reduction. You know, you need to take care of yourself because there's no reason why you ain't felt shit in 2 months. I'm a little concerned. Have you seen a therapist recently, Ashe? We have to get you into therapy. You know, I think you deserve to have some type of therapeutic care, be it, you know, acupuncture, you know what I'm saying? Or like, you know.
I don't feel like that. I only feel every once in a while.
I just think, you know, I understand you're a reptilian and y'all are cold-blooded, but I just think that all that fire and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't felt shit in two, you know. Look, you gonna feel this joint, though. We're just gonna get into this. So, I'm gonna play you some good music from, you know, a time in my life where I just love to vibe out and, you know, and get lit, you know?
Get your motherfucking money, sis. Get my motherfucking brand. What is you playing for? Boathouse? Nigga, I'm trying to. Ain't no delay. We building empires, but we ain't got time for that shit. Dick bags, nigga. Bring my motherfucking money. Talk your shit, sis. So I never forget the day that we met. Couple rounds, gave him pounds, put some weight on his chest. Say the greatest for next. God damn it, I'm wet. Lil' call, lil' text, lil' SCX. Dodging death threats, we never send that SOS. Left the baggage at the scene and we hopped in the jet. Clouds, I ain't face it, but I'm facing you now. Tired of breaking you down, I'm gon' create with you. I still wonder how we made it through the wars and the wrecks, the fights and the rest. This life is a test. Funny how I feel more absorbed when it's less. Cause and effect, these are the laws of success. Heartbeat, I got the bars connect. And we ain't going nowhere, this is infinite. That my little baby, he's so sensitive. I know it drive you crazy. Hold on, sis, yo. New drip and new drive, nigga, watch me. New drip and new drive, nigga, stop me. Melanated Aphrodite, looking icy. Stay laced up, drip down, but think wisely. Yo, top of the game, like talking to God. Applaud when we step in, bitch, know who we are. Attached to one listen, lessons in every written. Matter of fact, I'm in the mirror looking clearer than it ever did. Wrote the word, found my third, I speak prophecy. We talking digits, better learn your numerology. Just another grown kid trying to make it big. Man, you can sign, but I deliver. Oh, you uninformed, better get familiar. Cause when I spit it, man, my shit is iller. Then every entry considered major plays, major ways. We underground in the trenches. Said he's trying to slide. Well, little nigga, this a drive-by. If you thinking how I'm thinking, it's divine time. We ain't waiting, this is sacred, you decide now. Put a charge on the link if we match vibes. Ain't starving on your boat, leave them capsized. And we ain't arguing no more, check the facts, right? That's your main on my side, I gave her back, right? New drip and new drive, nigga, watch me. Watch this, I get all the love, I get all the drip. New drip and new drive, nigga, stop me. And we ain't going nowhere, this is infinite. New drip and new drive, nigga, watch me. Watch this, I get all the love, I get all the drip. New drip and new drive, nigga, stop me. Yeah, we ain't going nowhere, this is infinite.
So we're going to close out our reading today with some advice. I really hope that you all have enjoyed this as much as I have. This has literally been an experience that is not over and has just begun. So I'm really glad that y'all are here. I'm really glad that y'all want to support. And if you want to support, you can do so by donating. You can do so by supporting, by following, sharing, liking this. Ashe definitely also approves and appreciates the likes and the support. You also can support by donating to the house I'm building on the south side of Chicago for the young black kids. You can definitely also support by going to Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, however you wish to feel to do so. Yeah, this is just really an emotional experience. I'm fucking blazed. I am feeling all the new moon vibes right now. And I feel very much so like in my power. I think that today has been crazy, an experience that I will literally never forget. And I'm really glad that you all are here to experience it with me. So let's get into this advice. So, Spirit, what is the advice you have for the collective for this reading? What is the messages you would like to share with us to close this out? Ashe. Thank you. All right. Well, not you, Ashe, but Ashe. All right. These are the two cards I'm feeling. So we have the Four of Pentacles at the bottom with the Emperor, the Eight of Swords, Seven of Swords. To me, I'm hearing, don't hold on too tight to anything. Just always make sure that you're willing to grow. You always want to be willing to take a risk. It takes money to, you got to spend money to make money. You got to take money and use it to spend more money. Yes, Ashe, I know you're listening. I know you're just tuning in. I appreciate your presence. I think about this, what we were talking about earlier, Ashe, and just this idea to like redistributing that energy, You always want to hold on to stuff too tight that you don't know how to use it, let it free, let it experience, explore, liberate itself. And it's just like, stand in your power. Do not allow things to limit you. Don't limit yourself. Sometimes you just got to take, I think about New Magic Wand by Tyler, the Creator, and this idea of like, sometimes you can't take the door, you got to take the window. And it's not about being, it's about being strategic, having a plan for yourself and really just taking that first step out, that when the elevator doors open or when the train, just take that moment, that opportunity to change your life. We had a lot of cards about movement and setting boundaries, the Knight of Wands, the Page of Swords, also thinking about the Queen of Swords, about really speaking your mind and your truth, but also setting them boundaries and saying what needs to be said. So let's see what these other cards are. We have the Moon, the Three of Wands, and the Ten of Cups. Let me tell y'all right now, walk by faith and not by sight. I think a lot of us are not realizing that a lot of the emotional stress, physical stress, it's hard being a black woman, you know what I'm saying, in a world like this. And I'm really grateful for Ashe and my ancestors and the people around me who look out for me and support me. And there's a lot of times where stress and mental anguish, emotional anguish, a lot of things can get caught up on you. And you always got to remember with the moon is that light, just like we were talking about the light earlier. Remember, we was talking about all these different things about the light and this understanding that the moon and the sun all serve their purpose and that there is something you can greatly take from this, a gift, a power, releasing certain things in your subconscious. There's ways that this moment that feels so dark for you can have a moment of light. So we have the Three of Wands too. The Three of Wands is about expansion. So to me, this is telling me that, there'll definitely be some travel soon. There'll definitely be some things coming your way. Also thinking a lot about, hey, when you think about the Three of Wands is about traveling to foreign lands. Somebody or something is making their way to you in a travel sense. So it can either be mail, it can be physical, it could be ideas, it could be money, it can be an opportunity. Wands are about things that are moving, passion, purpose, divine willpower, vitality, all of that stuff, right? Fire, as a fire sign and as, a person with a dragon as an ancestor, I think we know a lot about fire. And sometimes this is the fire that comes to you. Sometimes heat comes to you. You ain't always got to create the heat. The sun comes to you. So even in these moments that feel so dark, the sun still got to come. Remember, the joy comes in the morning. And morning is also not just morning of like the day, but also like in that sadness, that grief, that pain. The joy comes in the morning and joy comes after the morning. All of that is balance. You got to know joy to know pain. You got to know pain to know pleasure. You got to know sorrow to know happiness, grief to know healing. You got to know the contrast of things so that you can appreciate both. So, yeah, how you feel about that, Ashe?
I agree.
Love that.
Yeah.
Thanks. I think that what I really do also appreciate is that Ashe, your ancestors, the people that work with you closely spiritually and otherwise, are just confirmations of what's in your spirit. Ashe doesn't boss me around, and I don't boss Ashe around. We both work together. Spirit and the flesh, spirit and the body, spirit and the mind, ego and the spirit, however you like to see it. The lion and the woman in white on the strength card. We work together. Ego and spirit work together, So really grateful for you, Ashe. You're amazing. And you also be smoking and blowing big dope like I do. And I'm just really grateful that we could blow big dope together. We're gonna fist bump. I'm gonna just bam. All right, felt that. All right, so last card. Speaking of family and bonds and connections, we have the 10 of Cups here. So although you might feel like you're getting sent for a whirlwind right now with the emotions, they're heavy. This might be dreams, intuition, things that you feel like are not being revealed to you. They gonna come to you. They coming. The 3 of Wands is about action. So things that are not being revealed to you, even to yourself or to others, they're coming to you. And it's going to be 10 of Cups. So I'm definitely hearing some good news around relationships, maybe around some family healing, some restoration going on within yourself and your emotions. Also a culmination. So definitely a new cycle starting. A new cycle is definitely about to begin. So let's get into the next few cards and see what else comes up. This is my Chrysalis Tarot deck. And it's kind of crazy. I keep hearing a lot of things about butterflies and cocoons. And, Ashe came out of an egg. And, we all humans came out of a void, a space, a womb. And I wore these earrings intentionally. I think about the Fool card and like the new moon being a black void and opening a space. And it's like, have you opened yourself up for the space to birth something? Have you opened yourself up for the space to create something new? And I wore these, okay now. All right. Y'all saw that. That came out. Let's see what this is. 6 of Scrolls. Okay. So I think there's 2 things that I want to bring up. I pulled it up. There goes some more. All right. So, do you want to know peace? Are you willing to put certain things down? Are you tired of the discontentment and the fighting and arguing and the restlessness of the mind? Are you willing to do something different? Are you willing to move into a new nest? 2 of Wands at the bottom. Are you willing to move into a new nest, a new mindset? Are you willing to do something else for yourself? What else do you want for yourself? Do you want to know peace? How can you get to peace? What things need to change? How do you need to reduce your stress? Do you need to meditate? Yes. I'm going to answer that question for you. Yes. Do you need to make sure that you're not around people who are stressing you out? Do you need to purify? Do you need to cleanse? Yes. Yes. So hopefully we have a second to pull from Spirit and ask them what is the card to close out with the Love Yourself card. Oh, wow. The moment I start to change, the moment I am willing to bring the good into my life, the universe responds in kind. I choose a bright future now. So some of y'all might be letting y'all mind and certain things get in your way. They say, stop doing that. Stop letting certain shit get in your way. Only you can sometimes be in your way. And they say, can you get out your own way for once? So I'm hoping that this is something that you could take from this and we could really see yourself being more than what you've allowed yourself to be due to self-imposed things, society, etc. So just know that Spirit got your back, you got your back, and Ashe got your back. Okay? Period. So we are closing this out. I'm really glad that you came. Please always stay in touch in the ways of social media and otherwise. If you want to book a reading, you can reach out to me on those social media sites, and grateful for y'all being here.
Hey, gotta go, gotta get, gotta bet, gotta bet, you know what I'm saying, something like that. Hey, doors open, soul spoken for just being me. NWA.